Well, many of you are used to the idea of using affirmations, and it became kind of like a mainstream in the last few years. It became more common to hear affirmations and like the practice of looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm beautiful, I love myself. But what many of you might have realized or haven't realized is that not all affirmation practices are effective. And the reason being is that when you consciously affirm, I am rich, there's a voice in the back of your head that is saying, no, you're not. And when this voice strikes, it's kind of like, that's true. There's another layer that occurs that really reduces the effectiveness of the practice. So it's almost like you're having a conversation with a friend, and then you tell them, I'm making so much money right now with my business. I'm profiting so much from this activity that I'm doing. And then your friend knows you're lying, and they're like, no, but you're not. You just had a X dollars loss. And then you say, yeah, it's true, but then this happened. So then the dialogue starts, right? So it's the same thing that happens in your mind. The way how we carry on conversations in our daily lives is the same way how our mind processing, because there's no difference between the internal and the external, except for the separation, which is a split of consciousness, which is your divine consciousness operating from one way with your ego consciousness operating in a different way. Falsehood and truth are always playing against each other, but even in interactions that we have with yourself and with others, when the projection is of the lie, the truth is still prevailing. And this is why people might say, well, I had a good feeling with this person, because again, your divine consciousness is always at work, and the dialogue, that connection is happening regardless. So I decided to make this video to introduce you guys a tool that I've recently learned about. It's called Afformations. Affirmations not with an I, but with an O instead. And this was coined by Noah Syndrome. And it's a twist on traditional affirmations. Instead of saying statement like I'm wealthy, which you might resist if you don't feel wealthy, like I said, you ask a positive, empowering question like, why is this always happening to me so easily? And here's why this works. Your subconscious mind is wired to seek answers. When you ask a question, your brain starts looking for evidence that is true. This bypasses the resistance you might feel with affirmations that sound false or forced. It also activates a solution-seeking, expansive mindset aligned with curiosity, openness, and receiving. So affirmations equals affirmations plus questions that form your reality. And we're going to go over a few questions in each particular subject in one's life. We understand that most of the things we struggle as human beings has to do with self-worth and identity, love and relationships, abundance and money, which is tied to career, purpose and growth, mindset and miracles, also health and your energy. I added an extra layer here, which is trust, flow, and receiving. So we're gonna go over each category, and I'm hoping you can start using this affirmations in the next 30 days. Begin, you wake up. There's a moment that you have like a awakening when you are passing from the state of dream to the so-called waking reality, the state of consciousness or state of mind that shifts when you like waking up. This is where we want to state this affirmations. This is where you want to throw this questions to your subconscious mind, the moment where you feel like I'm almost like waking up but not fully awake yet. And I'm hoping you might realize the power of this affirmations in the next 7 days. Like as you start using, let's say today, tomorrow, you start realizing that. But as you realize that, you also journal. So you also reinforce into your subconscious or to yourself that what I'm doing is working. So I'm gonna keep doing, because we also have the tendency to stop doing things when we don't see um enough results or positive effects of that. Okay, so the first category I have listed is on self-discovery and identity. And these questions are tied in to really realize who you are, because if you don't know who you are, how can you pursue whatever it is that you're pursuing in your life? So if you're struggling with self-identity and trying to discover yourself, these are some questions you can throw in your subconscious, either in a state of meditation or, like I said, upon waking up before your brain shifts from dream state to conscious state. Why am I here? Who am I beneath my thoughts and rows? What is my soul's true purpose? What part of me have I forgotten or neglected? What limiting identity am I ready to release? What truth about myself have I been afraid to accept? What part of myself have I been denying? What makes me feel worthy without effort? What masks am I ready to remove? Okay, now we're going to go over to the next category. And again, you don't need to use each category a day, but you can focus on particular categories each day. But you can also just remember a few of these questions and just kind of hold on the back of your mind for when you have the opportunity to release them. Or maybe you can write them down on a piece of paper or on your notes, and you can always refer back to it in case you forget. So love and relationships are formations. Why are my relationships so loving and nourishing? Why do I attract people who honor and uplift me? Why do I feel so seen and cherished in love? Why is it so easy for me to set healthy boundaries with grace? Why do I feel so safe and open in my connections? Why do I keep meeting soul-aligned people? Why do I love myself more every day? So do others. Okay, so let's go to self-worth and purpose. Why do I feel so confident in who I am? Notice even like in this practice, like thoughts that comes up, you realize how this works by just the answer you're getting from the subconscious mind or from the universal mind. You're either getting answers from one side or the other, either from your intellectual mind, from the hard drive that is installed on you, which has like a collection of memories and experiences, or the universal mind, which shows you things that you haven't accessed yet in physical, but it's available for you to access. Why am I so in tune with my purpose? Why is it so easy for me to trust my inner voice? So now let's go over purpose and growth. Why am I so aligned with my life's purpose? Why do I feel so fulfilled by the path I'm on? Why is my work so impactful and joyful? Why does my creativity flow so effortlessly? Why do I feel so inspired and passionate every day? Why is my path unfolding with ease and beauty? Why do I embrace every part of my journey with gratitude? Just notice how the quality of these questions can really shift even a conversation in a room. You can try this out, even like asking someone when they throw in some negativity, and then you say, "Oh, why is your path unfolding with ease and beauty?" They're gonna be like, "What? I'm not used to get these questions." So let's go over mindset and miracles. Why do miracles show up in my life every day? And this is a really powerful inquiry that you can have directly with God in the moment that you are connected to the Holy Spirit, in the moment where you are connected to grace, to your highest source. Why is my mind wired for happiness and possibility? Why does life surprise me with magic and synchronicity? Why do I feel so connected to infinite wisdom? Why is every moment a new opportunity to thrive? Why is the universe always on my side? And now we go over health and energy. So those questions are also great to elevate your state of consciousness, to shift instantly your energy flow and your vitality. Well, why do I honor my body as a temple of my soul? Why do I attract perfect health and healing energy? Why do I feel so alive and radiant? Why is my mind so calm and focused? Why am I constantly getting healthier and stronger? Some of you might wake up immediately like, I want to go to the gym. Now let's talk about trust, flow, and receiving. So sometimes your ability to receive can be hindered by toxic energy, and these questions can also help unlocking the clunky energy that is preventing your ability to receive magic, to receive miracles, to receive from the source of life, to the source of intelligence, the highest source of intelligence that reigns all this all this show, all of this that is life. Why am I so open to receiving all the good life has to offer? Why is it so easy for me to trust the process? Why do I feel so supported by the universe? Why am I so deeply connected to the rhythm of life? Why do I surrender with faith and joy? And in case you're wondering, can I use some affirmations to unlock a specific challenge that I'm dealing with? Let's say I feel challenged by the way I sound. Sometimes I don't like the way I sound. So what are some affirmations I can use? And we're talking about affirmations here. I can use to start loving my voice and sound different. And yeah, you can use that as well. When you set that strong intention and it's coming again from your truth, you are able to want to see things different because that intention alone allows you to rewire your brain, your lenses, the way how you interpret reality. And you're either seeing it through the highest good or through the worst. And people who are in depression, a lot of the times they are not able to perceive goodness, kindness, happiness. They are only stuck in a really narrow point of view and they're only seeing tragedy as opposed to seeing miracles. Yeah. So for that particular challenge, right, that I've just mentioned, I can think of my voice as not just sound, but my energy, my truth, and my presence in motion. So to love my voice and shift how I sound or how I feel about it can unlock a deeper connection also with my self-expression. So here are some affirmations I can use. Why is my voice so beautiful and uniquely mine? Why do I love my voice? And why do I love how my voice carries my truth? Why does my voice feel more powerful and natural every day? Why is it so easy for me to enjoy the sound of my voice now? And I can also use some other affirmations that can transform how I sound when it comes to the energy, the tone, the clarity. Why is my voice becoming clearer, warmer, and more expressive? Why do I sound more grounded and magnetic each time I speak? Why do I trust the natural rhythm and tone of my voice? So you can use the same framework for other particular challenges, but in a one-on-one session with me, um, either a mentoring session or a clarity call session, uh, I'm happy to design this with you based on a specific challenge or problem that you are willing to break through, uh, or just like a pattern, or just like a blockage that you must be willing to break free. The first step is awareness, and I can only help those who have awareness. I can bring awareness, and not everyone is ready to accept their awareness, because after awareness there's acceptance. That's part of the three steps for healing. And after you are aware that there's a problem and you have the willingness to change, then I can aid that process with ease. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed or noticed that, this might be beneficial to you, I'm willing to give out a PDF I have put together with 100 questions, 100 affirmations, sorry, to help unlocking miracles, abundance, self-love, and your truth, your universal truth. So you can hit me on DM. My Instagram is at @drobmaria. It's also linked to this YouTube page. So I'm more than happy to share this PDF with you. Just send me a DM with the message PDF 100 affirmations, and I'll send it to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and keep healing, keep growing, keep striving, keep learning. We're here to evolve into the truth of who we are. Thank you.